Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Are the Opera of Power with Gail and
Hi from Jane. Hi, Gail.
hi, hi, Jane. Today, Jane came up with this really cool saying. Jane, why don't you share it?
Live while you're living.
Live while you're living. So we're going to discuss that a little bit today. What is it? What does that mean to you, Jane?
Well, we were talking about self-soothing, and there was a whole conversation about bringing ourselves back to ourselves, and the idea that instead of saying, well, when this happens and the universe aligns and all these things are in order, I'm going to start living. I'm going to start taking action, doing something, going somewhere. I'll be happy then. Objectifying all the time our sense of being happy and living right now while we're living. And that also means like right now, like today. I experienced that last weekend where I started feeling I was getting out of myself. I couldn't soothe myself. And then I slowly, reclaimed it. And I was like, okay, what do you need? Like, do something fun for yourself. Let's go do it today. Let's not let any narrative that's going on in my mind right now stop me from doing what I need to do today to enjoy my day and live while I'm living. I'm not living in the future. I'm not living in the past. I'm living right now, and I'm going to go
Yeah.
do this. And I had a wonderful experience. I felt like I really gained a sense of self again and got back on my path of uh, recognizing, what to pay attention to, what to put my energy, forgiving myself. Like there's sort of an energy behind that too, as if you're there for you and you're your best champion and you're going to plan the best day for you. And you like, you can do so many things for yourself. And that might mean just doing nothing. Like maybe, you know, and that's what we got talking about. Because
Yeah.
I said to you, if you were living exactly how you wanted to live right now, what would that look like?
Yeah. And I think for me, I mean, I'm at a place now where in this moment, I'm overjoyed with my circumstances. That's not to say that tomorrow a desire for something different won't come up. I don't know. But in this moment, I'm living the life that most people only dream of, really.
Yeah.
Get to this point, I know I went through a lot of sort of soul searching about what does that mean to live. And I found myself getting into that, like, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I should be going here, why don't I want to do that? Like, why wouldn't I want to? I can do that. Why wouldn't I want to do that? And I found, for me anyways, it was a lot of, as soon as I do that, I start spinning. And that's like, so I don't go there. I'm happy where I am. Because it's not, if I'm happy where I am, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I don't feel like
Yeah.
I lack anything.
Yes.
Time, if I start saying like, well, why don't I want to do like what? I'm just, everything's really chill with you. Like, don't you want some excitement or don't you want to go and do stuff? And if I did, I would. I don't stop myself from it. I just don't feel that need at this moment. But there was a lot of guilt in like, what's wrong with you? Like traveling, like people love travel. That's living.
Well, yeah,
Definition of
and
living, right? Is
yes,
our own. It's our
yeah.
individual own. And
And I said
somebody
to you,
else,
yeah,
go
and
ahead.
what brought it up was I said to you, if you had $20 million today and no financial worry whatsoever, how would you be living? Would you be living any differently? Because for me, I feel kind of the same way too. I tend to, I have traveled a lot, and I said that to you, and it felt good at the time. It was fun, but I wasn't any different than I am now. And it actually made me think about like um you, and I said to you, let's go do this thing. And you were like, well, yeah, I get it, but I'm really happy where I am right now. So it's significant because, and like you said, it wasn't a feeling of, oh, I'm just accepting this because this is
The
all I
best I
have.
can do. Right. It's
Right.
not that at all. Because
Right.
no,
And
I
yeah.
can do whatever. I've got like I have all the benefits of manifesting have all played out for me. Um, so that's not the issue. I think the issue was I was looking outside for examples of what it means to live and taking other people's definitions and trying to fit it into my own. And it just didn't fit. And so I've accepted that I don't, that's not, it's living to you. I'm not saying it's not living. Just for me, like I'm just really, really comfortable. And I wouldn't say comfortable in the sense of, I don't want to, I can't be bothered. I don't want to do anything else because I would be okay with that. If I felt like I wanted to do that, I would do that. But I'm just like, at this moment, I'm just really, yeah, that's a good life.
Well, and
Life.
it's funny because I said it in a store. It came up for me because I was in this little variety store, and our lives are an everyday sort of process of doing and living and doing and living. Like we get caught up in the doing, like, because I think that's where it's important for people to understand the differences between our idea of living, because mine and yours are very different. We live very differently, completely differently, and yet we feel the same way. We feel
Yeah.
like this is it. Like we're here. We've arrived, like we were talking about. We've
Yeah.
arrived somewhere. We feel like, and it isn't about how much money we have. It's not about our circumstances. It's not that we have X amount of friends, this kind of relationship, that much money saved. You've got this, and then Matt,
Yeah.
and I think that's why you hear a lot of people talking about it, is because we attach so many objective things to our happiness that we lose sight of the ability. And self-soothing is living. Like that's what we just were talking about. If you're self-soothing, you're aware that you're alive. You're aware that you have choices to make, and you can go forth and you can decide. And maybe you can just sit back that day and say, wow, it's just great to be here. It's just great to be alive today. I'm like you said, I have this magical, beautiful life. And then you have a magical, beautiful life because if that's what you're paying attention to,
Right.
and
I just want to clarify.
yeah,
To me, self-soothing
right,
is not an end.
right.
Is a me like when it
Yes,
putting yourself into the end.
yes,
I want to be happy. I just want to be happy. So
yeah,
when things come up that you're not happy about, rather than running outside to somebody to say, come on, look what happened to me, and go through and get the sympathy, because there's nothing those people can do for you. Everything is self-created. So they can't do anything for you. So it's prolonging you not living in the end,
yes,
going that route. Self-soothing is a way of acknowledging yourself. And in doing that, you're pushing yourself into your end because you are the one that's creating it. You are the one that um, you're the only one you have to go to. Like you have to be there for you. Nobody else can
yeah.
for you. You have to be there. So
You are your own.
I don't think self-soothing is living.
No.
I think it's a step toward
Yes.
getting to that.
Yes. Yes. Because that's what I was saying. If you're not doing that,
That's freedom.
yes.
You're able to self-soothe.
Yes.
And it's not, I'm not suggesting that it's a tool. I don't even know if it's a tool, but it's basically something you have to be able to within yourself find that peace. And maybe self-soothe doesn't fit for everything, but it's the same basic idea, right? But it's not living, but it is you, it's a recognition that you are the one who's responsible for it all and you can do it.
Right. And
You are the one that will do it for
well,
yourself.
and if that means that you're like, for instance, back in the day, I would be very jealous and I would be very like worried about what if the person cheats on me and they're going to hurt me and they're going to do this to me and they're going to do that. And maybe while they're doing that, that's going to happen. Like I would have all kinds of narratives around that. And so I finally got to the place with myself where I said, well, if that happens, then that's where the self-soothing kicked in. You will be able to do this and you will be able to continue on living, breathing, uh, uh, paying attention to what you want, using your creative imagination. You will continue. Like, there's people that have one bad thing happen and then that's it. Like there's, that bad thing represents their ability to live. And I think living for yourself means that you have your own self as your primary concern. And I know that sounds weird. Like we would all think that that would come naturally, but for some people, like for myself, I was a pleaser. So, and that's a story. I'm
Yeah.
also not a pleaser. I'm everything. There's nothing I'm not when I'm doing it. So I pay attention now to what I want, which is I don't want to be in a state of having to take care of other people's or my idea. Like a lot of times too, it's like, it's not even the other person asking. So even waiting and telling myself now, well, just wait till they ask you for their help and then you can step in. Instead of preemptively creating a story that you're needed there and you're going to do this and that and the other thing, how about you just wait and just live your life? And when it comes up, if it comes up, you'll deal with it.
Well, the other thing you can do, because you're giving life to that possibility in wording it and thinking of it that way,
Yeah.
is you can have faith in them that they
Yes.
live their best life. I'm
Yeah.
so grateful. I'm so thankful they're living their best life.
Yes.
It has nothing to, that's not giving any kind of life to you having to do anything for them, whether they ask or whether they don't ask.
Yeah. Don't wait. I guess there's a big message of don't wait for an objectified idea to give you what you want. Give yourself what you want right now.
Yeah. Yeah. From where I came from to get here, the idea that whatever it is you do, it's your choice if you're living or not. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think.
Right.
As if you feel like life couldn't be better in this moment, then you're living.
Yes.
Again, and not to say that tomorrow I couldn't have a desire for something or a week from now or a year from now or whatever. But in this moment, like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. And I am not, there would be people that maybe would think like, what? Like that, your life is just very simple. Like, how can that be really living? And then there's other people that are like, wow, I wish I had that simple life. Like it's all very individual. And if traveling is what you need to do to feel alive, then that's what feeling alive is. And that's okay. And if, like you said, doing absolutely nothing is what you feel like you need to do, that's okay. There's only you to judge.
Yeah, and just stop telling yourself it's going to happen when this happens. Just stop doing that completely. Yeah. Just stop having narratives about how.
Yeah, because that's thinking of the end, not from the end.
Yes. And I feel like that's our cultural kind of conditioning has brought us to, when I have that certain thing. And when I hear it now, I actually kind of laugh. Like, I'm like, yeah, I've got it now. I've got it. I'm living it. I don't want to wait to live. I don't want to wait to live next week, next year. I don't want to wait. And I feel like that waiting is really the objectifying. It's always that going out there to find something, right? Because
Yes.
even with traveling, I traveled a lot, and I thought there was something. Well, I wasn't really looking. I wasn't seeking for anything in that. It was just out of pure pleasure. So, and that's all it was. And then after doing that, I realized, oh, I'd really like to stay somewhere for a while and do what I do now, which is have a certain, I guess we all have our like daily habits and stuff that we do that we enjoy. It could, like you said, who knows, whatever it is, whatever that is, it goes with you as well. That's what I was thinking too. Like that thinking goes with you. So if you're always thinking it's ahead of you over there, when this happens, you never ever get to live. So live while you're living. Live right now. Live, go do something you can do. And with all the restrictions that have been put on, I feel like that really just really helped me to understand, oh, pay attention to what you can do. And I can do, I'd say, everything I can do before we had restrictions.
Yeah,
So,
because you're not, those restrictions, what do they have to do with you?
right.
The and this is the power in living subjectively, is that yes, you need to give Caesar what Caesar's due, sort of thing, in accordance to the Bible, but it also says you're in this world, not of this world.
Yes.
So it's the limitations of Caesar's world are not yours unless you're living objectively. If you're living subjectively, which means basically through your imagination and living in the end, then those limitations don't have nothing to do with you.
Yes. And you can keep in your peace of mind. Mostly it's peace of
Yeah.
mind.
Well, I find myself like people will send me stuff, about the jab and the the Rona and all kinds of stuff, right? And I'm like, what does this have to do with me?
Yeah.
Like it has not. And I'll explain to them my perspective first, and they keep sending, and it's like it has nothing to do with me. But I also know that they're sending because they know what I'm going to say. So there's a comfort probably for them, for me, because I'm pretty convicted when it comes to that whole thing. It's like nothing to do with me, really.
Yeah.
It's all,
Yeah.
as Rita says, it's all God
Yeah.
and nothing. I don't give the time to it. I'm like living my life.
Yes.
What does it have to do with me? It's not part of my life.
Yeah. It's really, really nice when you can live. Yeah. Because what happens is there's no restriction. There's no restriction there.
Any
Like,
restrictions are self-imposed.
right. And when you realize that and you're living from that and you're actually living and you're busy paying attention to what you want, that all is not in your conscious awareness.
Yeah.
So it's not playing
And
on.
if it does show up, then you just forgive it.
Yeah.
Forgive them for that. I don't think that way anymore. I know everybody's as free as I am.
There's a lot of love when when I hear people say they don't have enough love, or when I feel like I don't have enough love, and I just go about my day lovingly. Like, if it comes up, oh, I need more love. And then that's when, even when living now and realizing, okay, so bring that love to yourself, love yourself, realize that you're capable of loving in any circumstance and at any moment. It's See, I think that's where we kind of go wrong when when everything is good and perfect, it's easy to accept that. It's when things are not that we are challenged to.
And many awakenings happen that way.
Yes. Yes. And
And it's all part of the pattern.
yeah.
I just want to make a point.
Okay.
Think of it when you were talking about societal norms or cultural norms or something, bringing us to the point where we live sort of in the future. From a subjective perspective, all of those beliefs have all been embedded in our consciousness already. So society had no choice.
Yes.
Of those beliefs that are in there. And I just think it's important to keep bringing it back
right
ourselves, because society is us.
Right.
But our
and the
beliefs on
are.
society are. And that's another thing. That's why you may not think about, I didn't imagine that, for these kind of really big things that are going on in society, but they're embedded purposely in your consciousness as part of the pattern of your existence, your life, your growth. And so that's why they're coming up. So I think we do ourselves an injustice complaining about why did this happen? I mean, I think we need to understand, like we were talking about with your experience at the lake with the lady and the kids, because I think that living or experiencing the other side of judgment is an understanding and help you to shift just to, hold on, I'm not going to judge anymore, because I don't want to, if I'm judging this and like, whoa, hold on, I'm going to live the other side. No, I don't want to do it. Like, I think it's an important understanding, but I don't think we want to get hung up spending all of our time wondering, why did this happen? I didn't imagine this. Why did this happen?
Right.
It's an investment in ourselves. I think it's a spending of time. If we know our imagination creates, and everything that we see out there is what we hold in our consciousness. Everything we're aware of is what we hold in our consciousness. Okay. So I don't know when that was imagined, because it can be 50 years ago when you imagined, like, we don't remember everything, every little we got triggered by, right? Or gave some intensity to. So don't spend a lot of time wondering why this didn't happen. Why this did happen? Because then you fall into the analyzing.
Yeah.
And in a way that you're creating them more stories of what you don't want. Because you're always, when you analyze, you're always looking for sort of the worst case scenario in things, right? Okay, well, let me look at, did I do that? Well, maybe.
Well, and that also, like, living versus analyzing is that you don't, like, I've been in circumstances where people are like, okay, we're gonna go do this thing, and then another person, well, this might happen when we do that. We better like bring our safety thing, and then this might happen, and then by the end of the conversation, nobody's doing anything because
nobody wants to go because it's scary.
And it's so complicated and scary, and all this effort has to be made, and which is funny, because the day last weekend when I was feeling like that, the decision, like I told you, I'd wanted to jump in the water. Like, I just wanted to be in the water with the heat. We had a lot of humidity, and we have so many lakes around here. And I had watched someone on YouTube just be like, okay, I'm going to all these waterfalls. I was like, what can I do that? I could do that. I just put it in my Google and go and jump in and come home. So, and then all these other voices in my head were saying, well, it's an awfully long drive just to go and jump in the lake. Why would you waste all your money on gas? And why do you have to go so far? And why do you have to do this and that? And then I could hear like literal like fears coming up, like, oh, well, and even driving up there, well, you shouldn't be swimming alone. Like, you should be swimming with somebody, and just different things that come up. And in the end, it was like, once I got going and living and doing and being there for and saying, nope, this is what you enjoy, relax, enjoy right now.
Yeah.
Enjoy right now. Like, it's easy to say, hard to do. Live right now. Live. go, whatever that is. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean,
Yeah.
and see, that's the other thing I think happened too, is we say that and then we objectify it again. We go live and travel and eat good food, or do this thing. It'll give you this experience that is going to be, you need this experience, but we're experiencing all the time. It's never
Yes.
stopped. It's not stopped.
Yeah.
Like,
if you want it, experience it. If you're
right.
desire to experience it, experience it.
Yes.
If you don't have a desire, it's okay.
Yes.
There's only you to judge
Yes.
your life and your living.
Well, and practice that.
To live.
Like, do it for a week.
Yeah.
Practice it. Be your own best friend. Introduce yourself to yourself again. Hey, here I am, best friend.
Froze on that one.
Froze.
Anyways, okay. Well, anything else to add before we finish up? It's getting hot here. Ooh. Oh, she's frozen. Okay. All right. Well, we'll bring this to a close. We were done anyways. So thank you everybody for joining us. If you think this video could be helpful to anybody, please share, subscribe, like, and leave comments if you have any. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye-bye.